Hi there fellas, I'm Dave from Boyinaband, and I am an English person. Now to my fellow English people out there, there's nothing worse than getting the wrong sort in your country, am I right? That's why we need a solid test to keep out the chaff and only bring in the wheat. Am I right? Am I right? So today I'm going to be taking an English citizenship test to prove once and for all that test, as with everything the UK government does, is spectacularly well thought out. Oh, what's this article? Britain's citizenship test is criticised for errors, inconsistencies and random trivia? Nonsense. Who's this Quartz anyway? It's not even a reputable, journalist thing. Oh, what's this? Another random article from The Guardian? Citizenship Guide fails its history exam. According to irate historians, the new government booklet is leading would-be citizens astray with a confusing array of historical errors, questionable suppositions and glaring misquotes. Huh. What does The Guardian know anyway? They're not a reputable source. Oh, what's this? The official UK Parliament website? If we scroll down and see, although most of the many factual errors in earlier editions have been removed, there are still some errors. What does the UK Parliament know about the UK Parliament? Anyway, I'm going to be taking this flawless UK citizenship test to prove once and for all how how UK I am. People get really annoyed when you mix up Britain, UK, and England. England is a country within the UK. The UK is a collection of 4 countries. Great Britain is the name of the main island. All confusion dealt with. Perfect. So, strap in, fellas. We're in for a fun ride. So yeah, this website, Life in the UK Test Web, has been created to help you pass the Life in the UK test. Many of the questions here have been asked in the official test. I couldn't find an official test online. I'm assuming they don't just post them wholesale online like that. I'm going to take this out. This is a website people use to practice for the official UK citizenship test, and it does have many of the questions asked on the test. Without further ado, British Citizenship Test 1. Here we go, fellas. First, super valid question. Oh, they have audio questions.
What are 2 responsibilities that you will have as a British citizen or permanent resident of the UK?
Okay, I'm going to assume that to stay in the UK forever is not a correct answer. To look after yourself and your family. Surely this is something that's a responsibility for any human. At least to look after yourself. If your family's horrible, then you shouldn't have to look after them. I'm going to guess it's these 2. Okay, I'm going to roll with this. Check. Yes! 100% win rate, fellas. Where is Big Ben located? I like the thought that if someone didn't know this, they shouldn't be allowed in England. Some massive, incredibly influential, rich, kind, philanthropic person comes in and they don't know the trivia about where Big Ben is located. Perhaps they've been more focused on their business than on random trivia about... Nope! Out! Oh god, I thought it would just say, London, Birmingham. I think it's by the Houses of Parliament. Yes! God, no, my flag. It's a... God save our gracious queen. Whoops. When were men and women given the right to vote at the age of 21? I wasn't taught this in English school. I think a lot of suffrage and stuff happened after the war. Women were so involved in the war effort. They got a taste for what it was like to vote. This is the problem, am I right, fellas? If you give women a taste of responsibility, all of a sudden they think they're a full human being. Ridiculous. 1923, full correct answer. Here we go. Oh, for God's sake. I was correct that it was after the war. Where is the UK geographically located? The way I remember East and West is East is England, West is Wales. If you don't know where Wales is, then that won't work. So Northwest. Who is the patron saint of Scotland?
Who is the patron saint of Scotland?
That's such a funny frickin' auto-generated voice. Why should I have to learn that as a British man? What has Scotland got to do with Britain? I really like Scotland. I've been there a bunch of times. Everyone that I've met from there has been incredibly nice. But I do not know the patron saint. I'm assuming it's not me. Well, Patrick's definitely frickin' Jacksepticeye land. St. George, I think, is England. St. David might be Wales. So St. Andrew. Process of elimination. Also, what the hell has this got to do with anything? Anyway, St. Andrew. Correct. Still British. Okay. Which 2 houses fought in the War of the Roses? Is this Game of frickin' Thrones? I don't even know when the War of the Roses was. Okay, let's have a think. What do I know about these places? Chester. I played a gig there once, a Polish night at the venue, and they had Polish sausage. That's not very English. That's definitely how this works. York, they have a pretty funny accent. Newcastle also has a pretty funny accent. And Lancaster, I honestly can't think of a single fact about. Sorry, anyone from Lancaster. Based on funniness of accents, it's these two. Okay, I was half correct. Clearly, Lancaster must have an even funnier accent than Newcastle. What the hell was this bloody War of the Roses? Maybe that should be the test. When people get something wrong in the test, how do they respond? And if they use the words, oh, bloody hell, that's when they get let in. And it's got to come across real. Like, have you ever heard an American try and say, bloody hell? It's really unusual. It would be like me saying, I'm trying to think of an Americanism now. Dude, did you see that gnarly wave? See, it sounds very unusual. Stick to your lane. The War of the Roses were a series of English civil wars. How the wars eliminated the male lines of both families. This is proper Game of Thrones stuff. The Bill of Rights of 1689 confirmed the right to vote for all adult men. I thought the Bill of Rights was an American thing.
The Bill of Rights of 1689
1689. I'm gonna guess true. False. What is the cenotaph? Cenotaph? I need more Englishness to help with this. Alright, fellas. What's the cenotaph? Cenotaph. Whatever. I'm gonna guess a war memorial. It wasn't a guess, it was correct. See, this hat. English as anything. Who was the captain of the English football team that won the World Cup in 1966? I can tell you that a bunch of English people would be very adamant that this is an important question. And I can also tell you that they are bloody idiots. This is not important. In the context of immigrating to a country, this is valueless. This is making me more angry than I thought it would. Ian Botham, sure. Bobby Moore. I honestly, I don't watch football, I don't care. So who was Ian Botham? British cricket commentator. Oh my god, that's an English-looking fellow. I see that face and think, yes, well, blah, 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 blah. Was I accurate with his voice?
I remember reading that, and I don't read a lot of autobiographies.
He's got a pretty understandable accent, that's quite disappointing. How about Bobby Moore?
Decided there, and I thought, well, I'm going to take it on, and once it fell,
That's a proper like David Beckham kind of voice.
As soon as I hit it, I thought it was best to go and run towards them.
I love that accent. Thank you, Bobby Moore. When did the English defeat the Spanish Armada? I've got to be a little bit more British. Sherlock time. When did English? Okay, 1466. Damn it! Anyone can make a complaint about the police by writing to the chief constable of the police force involved. This is actually something relevant to living in the UK. This is helpful to the people coming in as well. Yes, okay, good question. By law, which two types of media have to give a balanced coverage of all political parties and equal time to rival viewpoints before an election? I'm guessing television and radio? There's so much bias in British newspapers. I'm going to assume it's the same the world over. So yeah, I'm going to guess. Yep. The British government hasn't figured out the internet exists yet. They're morons. What did Sir Frank Whittle invent in the 1930s? Alright. Time to bring out the big guns. Sir Frank Whittle. Yes, my good friend. I don't know if this hat fits. Sir Frank Whittle. Is this so you can have some random trivia to boast about in the pub? So this is not during wartime. It seems a little early for jet engines. If this is ballpoint pen, it's not quite cool enough. Radar sounds like something a British person would come. I'm gonna hovercraft. Jet engine, really? Who wrote The Daffodils? Well, this guy has words in his name. I think Lord Byron did poetry and stuff. Yeah, he has words in his name. I'm gonna go with that. Yes! Perfect logic. Who was given the title of Lord Protector? That sounds pretty old. Was it Winston Churchill? I think Oliver Cromwell had some stuff to do with Ireland. But they put both Charleses in there to throw me. I'm gonna guess Winston Churchill. No. Yeah, I should have gone with my gut. It did sound pretty old, Lord Protector. Oh, here you are. His measures against them in Ireland have been characterised by some as genocidal or near-genocidal, and his record is harshly criticised in Ireland. He was selected as one of the 10 greatest Britons of all time in a 2002 BBC poll. Jesus Christ. Those two sentences next to each other. Could you imagine that? Like in Germany, Hitler killed millions of Jews. He was selected as one of the top 10 Germans in a poll on TV. Alright, last question. What are the 40 days before Easter called? Another bloody religious question. Lent. Okay. Finish quiz. 16 of 24 questions answered correctly. I got 66.67%. You failed the test. Okay, this is clearly garbage. I am the most British person you will ever see. Alright, okay, one more test. I can do this. Alright, what is the Home Secretary responsible for? Defense, right? What? No! No! Crime, policing, and immigration. Oh my god. Yeah, if you get that one wrong, they're gonna be mad. The person who makes the test is like, what am I for? What do I do? Talk about me. When walking your dog in a public place, you must ensure... Okay, this is a useful question. This is how to act. That your dog wears a collar showing the name and address of the owner. A high visibility jacket. I think it's the collar, right? Yep. When did the first farmers come from? This is... what? Are we talking frickin' caveman times? Like, when did people first come into England for the first time? Well, I would imagine if we're in Northwest Europe, it would be from south, because we came up from Africa. Southwest Europe. Didn't the people from Southeast Europe have to go to Southwest, then up to England? How is this relevant? The national anthem, God Save the Queen, can only be played in the presence of the Queen. Okay, let's test this. Is the Queen here? No. We just have solid evidence that that is not true. Who became Prime Minister and was an inspirational leader to the British people during World War II? Yeah, that's Winston Churchill. Yeah, he was a controversial dude. A lot of British people really like him, but he was pretty racist in a lot of ways, from what I've heard. I believe he took some food from India, somewhere in India, as backup resources for later in the war, causing some people to starve in India. And when he was told about this stuff, told that there were problems in India, he said something along the lines of, "Isn't Gandhi dead yet?" A very tactful man, Winston Churchill. Under which king did the Anglo-Saxon kingdoms in England unite to defeat the Vikings? Alright, so we're talking about... Okay, Vikings. They're from Norway, right? Swedish and Norwegian. So this is talking about Rumi and PewDiePie's ancestors used to be pillaging my ancestors, and we fought them back. Take that, Rumi and PewDiePie. King Alfred sounds pretty great, but William of Orange, have a gut feeling. No, he was great after all. When was the Carta Magna created? Surely this is pretty early stuff. No, it's like the Dark Ages, right? Okay. Whew. I know some of this stuff from playing Civilization. It's a brilliant game. See, in schools, they should just let kids play Civ games. That way, they will learn about history accurately. When Gandhi is nuking your countries, that's what happens. Northern Ireland has its own banknotes, which are valid everywhere in the UK. I don't think so. Scotland does. Oh, do they? What do they look like? Show me one. I have never seen one of these. That's so cool. Northern Ireland Bank to stop issuing its own notes. When is it going to stop? 2022, okay. I shouldn't be saying 20 when I'm doing an English citizenship test, should I? 2022. How many members does a jury have in England, Wales, and Northern Ireland? Yes! That was purely guessing from having watched a bunch of American shows. Which two of the following religious communities celebrate Diwali? This is fascinating. This isn't even to do with English history. This is to do with modern multiculturalism, I suppose. Perhaps this is trying to help people to integrate with other cultures that are coming here? Don't think it's Jewish. Doesn't sound Sikh either. Oh, it is Sikh. I didn't realize that. My best friend for a good 2 years was Sikh, but he didn't know anything about his religion. He just wore the turban. I remember asking him, like, what gods do you have? And he didn't know. What is Good Friday? The day when Jesus Christ rose from the dead. The day when Jesus Christ was born. The day when Jesus Christ died. The day when Jesus Christ became 30 years old. That's so weird. Like, why? Yeah, it's when he rose from the dead, right? Actually, the correct answer is none of these, because there's no evidence that he rose from the dead. People cannot rise from the dead. That's impossible. Oh my god. Was it? Why would they call it Good Friday? It's been a while since I was at Sunday school. My god. Where are the crown jewels kept? Tower of London, isn't it? Yes. Is this like a sneaky question? Like, if you know where they're kept, maybe you'll be able to take them. So we got to bring in the people who don't know where they're kept. So maybe this is misinformation. Who knows? That could be a sneaky that they're pulling on you. Which sport can be traced back to the 15th century in Scotland? Who needs to know this, you bloody morons? Who made this test? Who wrote the British citizenship test? The Home Secretary. Okay. Yeah, I guess it's down to the Home Secretary to confirm this kind of stuff. If they're in charge of immigration. Is Sajid Javid? Javid, I don't know how to pronounce that. Sajid Javid. Yeah, let's go with Sajid Javid. You are a bloody moron if you think this test is anything close to being relevant. Look at your stupid moron face. Like, that's not an insult to how you look. That's just that you are a moron and that is your face. For this particular issue, I know nothing else about you. You might be a lovely person. Which sport can be traced back? Look at me getting all freaking empathetic about the person who thinks people shouldn't be allowed into the country if they can't trace a sport back to the 15th century, you moron. Sorry. Getting a little bit heated. I keep thinking, maybe I've got something wrong there. Maybe it's not the Home Secretary that's in charge of this. Maybe it's unreasonable to expect someone who came into office last year to have changed this within a year. Maybe there's other people which stop him from being able to change this. Maybe there's political pressure. I don't know. It's just very easy to want to call someone a moron for this. And I don't know who to call a moron. Please, in the comments, if you're more knowledgeable than me about this, tell me who is the moron. Or if I'm correct and Sajid Javid is in fact the moron. Okay, moving on. Rugby. Seriously, golf. Golf is not what I would have assumed from the culture in Scotland. They're more into like throwing logs at badgers. I don't know, like aggressive things from my assumptions. I guess they're pretty chill people up in Scotland, more than I thought. Unless the initial golf was like having a freaking log, like a tree, and you just smack some invader's head. Which court deals with minor criminal cases in England, Wales, and Northern Ireland? So minor criminal cases, I'm guessing not the High Court. Is it Magistrates Court? All right. Again, I don't understand this stuff. This is pretty relevant. Like, this is the stuff that's quite useful to know and like would help people to understand how to navigate problems if they've been wronged in some way. If you come into the country, you want to make sure that those people can properly defend themselves, and you want them to know to understand how other people can defend themselves against them if they do anything wrong. Like, that's fair. What did the Scottish John Logie Baird, what a name, Logie Baird develop? Okay, it wasn't the personal computer, was it? Honestly, no idea. Pure guess. Sure, that sounds a bit modern, but I've clicked it now. Television. No clue. You've failed the test. Even worse this time. I'm sorry, fellas. I have wronged the flag. All my British subscribers can unsubscribe. I am now going to pick another country to be a part of. Actually, that'd make for a good video. Picking another country to be a part of because I'm clearly not English. This is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous. This is such an important test for so many. How many people was it? In 4 years, there were nearly 1 million tests taken. So for millions of people, these kinds of questions are determining whether or not they should be accepted into the country. Not the kinds of questions that talk about their moral values or how the country functions, which policies exist. I'd be curious to hear what you think as well in the comments. Is there a good citizenship test for a country? So, what we've learned, the English system is stupid. This is stupid. I am stupid. Sorry. Goodbye, my old friend. Goodbye. Okay, maybe one better way to end this would be to make a cup of tea. I don't know what to do though. I'm clearly not British enough. I don't think this is helping. I mean, I'm trying my best, but this isn't really coming across. This isn't working at all. All of my efforts were for nothing. I'll never be British. Wait! That kind of attitude is the most British thing of all. Being disappointed and sad all the time. Turns out being British was inside all along. Cheers for watching and have a nice day. Oopsie time! Hello again.
Hello again. It's still me.
Do you want to do this? Hey, oopsie time! Welcome back, guys. I'm here again with my sister Hannah.
I'm actually going to help this time.
And we're going to take a look at some of the mistakes I made in the last video. As you all remember, the last video was about BTS. Funnily enough, their fan base had a few things to say about my analysis. In general, everyone was incredibly kind, which I was kind of surprised about because I roasted them a little bit. So the first big mistake I made was I said, next up, J-Hope. Don't think this one's a rapper. I was wrong. J-Hope is a rapper. I'm very sorry, J-Hope. You have gained the army's favor. What is your wish?
Do you not want to be in a boy band?
I wish I was in a boy band too.
Yeah.
Other than that, turn off ad block. There were absolutely tons of essay comments in this section. I don't think I've ever asked a question and received so much insanely detailed feedback, a little overwhelming. I saw one person say because One Direction had started to go down,
Yeah,
there was
they
more
need-
space in the Western market for a big boy band to kind of capture the market.
I do agree with that. Back when I started getting into J-pop, there were like no popular Western boy bands, and I was sad about that.
Yeah, so you just went over to where they are, where they're cranking out the attractive men.
Yes, and Korea just improved on that.
Yeah. Dave was wrong because he assumed "you're not a failure" was trying to make a factual statement rather than offering a compliment. Dave will be wrong again because now he'll assume this is offering a compliment when it's trying to make a factual statement. Oh, thank you?
No, why are you saying thank you? They've already told you this is not a compliment.
Well, he's saying a factual statement. Wait a second.
He's going to assume that I'm offering a compliment when I'm just trying to make a factual statement. And you said thank you, so you were. This guy is right.
Yeah,
You're wrong.
he was correct.
You would really enjoy mono. That's a horrible thing to say.
That was my thought as well. I was like, why are all these people wishing pestilence upon me? But yeah, Mono
Yeah.
is in fact a song by RM. I listen to it, it's not really my thing. I think I prefer harder rap as a general rule.
His handwriting's as good as yours.
Shut up! More reasons for him to be my bias. This one made me laugh. Rapping, Dave, please go take a nap. that was
doing
something.
these days.
People were talking about my eye bags. This is just how I look. Thank you to I'd say about a good 1,000 comments saying anywhere from worrying to gross. Yeah, the biggest mistake I made, I was foolish enough to not trust my instincts and instead to look up the pronunciations of things. You pronounced Daegu, Haigu, and I'm dying in laughter.
Daegu.
Am I pronouncing Maknae right? Google Translate, Mane.
만에
See,
하이구
when you
That's
type it,
stupid.
I was like Daegu, and it was like,
하이구
oh, and I was like, oh, sorry, I don't want to make a mistake.
Daegu.
That's better.
That's closer.
Yeah, I'll just roll with that. Screw it.
Daegu.
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 Hit.
And what is it?
Maknae.
Maknae.
Yeah. Maknae.
He's the Maknae. Kim Seokjin. So that's just, you don't
Kim
pronounce
Sok-
the E at all.
Sok-
Seokjin.
Yeah.
You know Stephen Yun?
Yeah.
I always thought it was Stephen Yoon.
Yeah, no.
No, it's Stephen Yun.
Yeah.
And he did a thing on Conan
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
what this
same
is.
thing. Thanks a lot for all of the information on how BTS. I feel like I'm being sarcastic. I'm not. I actually really appreciated the information. There's been tons of stuff that's made me really think and kind of makes me want to start a group. I don't think I'd call it a boy band because I'm not sure I could pull that off.
Like a rap crew.
Yeah, I could totally be a member of a rap crew.
There you go.
Thanks for tuning in again for another episode of Oopsie Time at the end of whatever this video was. Cheers for watching and have a nice day.